Hi, my name's India and this is my video response to the interview questions provided by BBC Three for the Production Assistant Manager apprenticeship role. The reason why I'd like to work at BBC Three is mainly for two reasons. The first being the diversity shown on the platform itself. Not only through the type of TV which is produced, so the fact that I can go from watching a comedy to a drama to a documentary, but also the fact that the people which are shown are so diverse. So I can go onto BBC Three, choose something, and in all likelihood find someone in that episode or drama or documentary which I can relate to, who looks like me or who thinks like me. This in turn, I think, makes the content which is produced there really bold and creative, and this I find really appealing because I think you have to be bold and creative in order to represent such diverse people and different viewpoints. I have two experiences which I think would be most relevant for the job in which I'm applying for. The first being the time where I took my A-levels and I took media studies. Here I had to produce and direct and film my own music video, and that really led me to being interested in a production role because I understood that there is so much more that goes on behind the scenes in order to get the footage that you need in the end result. Here I learned how to be disciplined, edit itself, how to film well, and overall how to create something which meets your initial vision. The second thing which I think is really going to help me in the job is my experience from lessons from Auschwitz. Here I went to Auschwitz and understood that you need to be an empathetic person when looking at tragedies and something which has gone wrong, but you also need to be able to understand how to change it and how to ensure that that never happens again. And I think that can be applied on a global scale, but also on a production scale as well. When it comes to the role itself, I think there are probably three main skills which you need to have, and that's organisation, resilience, and being able to remain calm. I think you need to be organised because you need to understand that even the most thought out plans could go wrong because life's just like that. So understanding that when you organise something and you plan something, you still need to pencil in time for things to be checked, things to be rectified, and just seeing what's gone wrong. So I think because of that, you then also have to be resilient because you might have a really bad day when lots of things have gone wrong, and you need to be able to have the motivation and resilience to keep going back and keep rectifying it and kind of chivvy everyone around you as well because the atmosphere will be quite low. So I think the last thing that you have to kind of be is calm. You don't want to be getting anxious and really het up about the situation going wrong. You need to be remaining level-headed and coming up with a solution that you need. A piece of BBC Three content which I've really enjoyed recently was Trump's Unlikely Superfans, a documentary, and I think the host, Angela Scanlon, really made it for me because she was so authentic and really made it relatable for me watching at home on an issue which I am quite removed from because in a way, because it is across the pond, it doesn't affect me. The way in which her language that she used, it wasn't as formal as a news broadcast. She used colloquialisms. She even said that the people there were pissed off. And for that, for my age group, I found really refreshing because I was getting a true representation of what she was going through, and therefore I could understand it better. A piece of BBC Three content which I haven't really enjoyed is the drama Romper Stomper, and there were two things which I drew issue with. The first being that for the first 7 minutes of the first episode was a really quite violent scene. It was of them fighting and there was blood and gore everywhere, and that made for very hard watching and almost made me reluctant to go even further because I thought maybe the whole episode would be like that. And the second reason being because Blake's wife Zoe, when Kane comes into her life, she immediately becomes that dependent woman and falls into that stereotype which we've been given for so many years, and it just frustrated me a little bit because it was the same thing which I'd seen again and again.